Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. India has surpassed Japan to become the world's fourth largest economy. Niti Aayog CEO BVR Subramaniam said India is now poised to displace Germany from the third rank in the next 2.5 to 3 years. Briefing the media after the 10th Governing Council meeting in Niti Aayog in New Delhi, he said India is now a $4 trillion economy as per the IMF data. He said it is only the United States, China, and Germany's economy which are larger than India. The IMF, in its recent report, has said that India will remain the world's fastest growing major economy. The IMF have earlier stated this month in the World's Economic Outlook report that India continues to remain in the world's fastest growing major economy and the only country expected to clock over 6% growth in the next 2 years. According to the IMF, India's GDP currently stands at $4.3 trillion. India's GDP was $2.1 trillion in 2015. Since then, the country has more than doubled its economy. According to the report, the high rate of the growth will see India's GDP increasing to $5.5 trillion in 2028, overtaking Germany to become the third largest economy. United States President Donald Trump has signed executive orders for a reform of the country's nuclear industry. The administration says it will reduce regulatory barriers and speed up construction of nuclear reactors. The reforms will make it easier for the authorities to approve new nuclear power plant construction. Approvals have usually taken more than 10 years, but Washington has set an 18 months deadline for the final decision. The action aims to prepare for a surge in electricity demand due to growing use of AI and other technologies, including quantum computers. Secretary Douglas James Burgum said the actions related to electricity in the next 5 years will determine the next 50 years. The United States administration has taken significant steps to lift sanctions on Syria following President Donald Trump's earlier pledge to assist the war torn country in its recovery efforts. The United States Treasury Department issued a general license that clears the way for transactions involving Syria's interim government led by President Ahmed al Sarraj, as well as its central bank and state owned enterprises. Additionally, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced a 180-day waiver under the Caesar Act, ensuring that sanctions will not hinder critical investments in Syria's infrastructure, including electricity, water, energy, and sanitation, while also facilitating humanitarian aid. In a related development, European Union diplomats have also agreed to lift economic sanctions on Syria, a move aimed at supporting the country's reconstruction after ousting of President Bashar al-Assad. The decision was finalized by European Union ambassadors with a formal announcement. The Earth Sciences Ministry today launched a high resolution, that is 6 kilometer numerical global model Bharat forecasting system for operational forecasts up to a panchayat level, which is expected to help address extreme rainfall events among the other things. Dedicating the model to the country, Earth Sciences Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that the indigenously built BFS Bharat Forecast System was developed by five female scientists, which highlighted India's women led development. He said that IMD has played a pivotal role in taking the country's economy to the fourth position, as in the last few years, the development has contributed over 50,000 crores by preventing potential losses and increasing potential gains in rupees. Developed by the Pune based Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology IITM, the Bharat forecasting system will provide forecast with a 6 kilometer resolution, the highest in the world. that will allow the meteorological department to predict small scale weather features more accurately. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has approved the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft AMCA program execution model. The model aims to enhance India's indigenous defense capabilities and foster a robust domestic aerospace industrial ecosystem. In a statement, Defense Minister said that the execution model approach provides equal opportunities to both private and public sectors on a competitive basis. It stated that the entity or a bidder should be an Indian company compliant with the laws and regulations of the country. The ministry added that this is an important step towards harnessing the indigenous expertise, capability, and capacity to develop the advanced medium combat aircraft prototype, which will be a major milestone towards a self reliance in the aerospace sector. In a major drive towards self reliant India, India is developing Electric Hansa, E Hansa, a next generation two seater electric trainer aircraft. This indigenously developed E Hansa aircraft is roughly half the price of the imported trainer aircraft. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh chaired a high level review meeting this week with all the science department secretaries. The minister said, "It is a matter of pride that new aircraft is being indigenously developed by the CSIR National Aerospace Laboratories, Bengaluru. The E-Hansa is part of a larger Hansa 3 NG trainer aircraft program which is designed to be cost effective and indigenous option for pilot training in India." Commending ISRO for the successful SPARDEX mission, the minister noted that the docking and undocking capabilities is vital to India's upcoming Gaganyaan human space flight mission. He also lauded ISRO's substantial role in Operation Sindoor, stating that every Indian is proud of ISRO. On India's contribution to the Axiom space mission, Dr. Jitendra Singh informed that the group captain Subhash Shukla's visit to the International Space Station will include 7 microgravity experiments, further boosting India's space science profile. Space and technology billionaire Elon Musk announced that his team as a chief of the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE has come to an end. He thanked US President Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. Musk said that the Dodge mission will strengthen over time to become a way of life in the government. His departure comes a day after Musk's first ever criticism of Trump, where he said, "President's signature, big, beautiful. Spending bill increases on the budget deficit and undermines the Dodge team work." He said that a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but it cannot be both. Musk was a donor to Trump's 2024 election campaign, featured in his pre poll outing, and then remained firmly by his side as the Republican assumed office. Trump, on his part, praised Musk in his victory speech. As the Dodge Department started working with a feverish pace, Musk went looking for a super high IQ small government revolutionaries, willing to work over 80 hours a week on unglamorous cost cutting tasks. Tens of thousands of people were removed from the government payroll, and several departments were downsized or shut down, even as a Tesla chief butted heads with other senior Trump officials. But by late April, Musk started pulling back after interviews wherein he says Dodge has become a whipping boy for dissatisfaction with the administration. He also admitted that he did not achieve all goals with Dodge. The Union Public Service Commission UPSC has launched a new online application portal for registration and filling up of application forms. This portal will facilitate candidates to fill up the first three parts anytime and keep ready for applying to the any UPSC examination whenever notifications with update as many be required, thereby saving time and avoiding last minute rush. In a statement, the UPSC said that all applicants are required to fill up the application and upload their documents in a newly introduced portal afresh by using a website upsconline.nic.in. The old one time registration OTR model will not be applicable henceforth. United States President Donald Trump has announced that he will double the tariff on steel imports from 25% to 50% to protect American industry. Speaking to Pennsylvania steel workers in Pittsburgh, Trump said America's future should be built with a strength and pride of Pittsburgh and not shoddy steel from Shanghai. In a post later in a social truth platform, US President said that aluminum tariff will also be doubled to 50% and both tariff hike would go into effect on Wednesday. Trump said $9.2 billion invested from Nippon will boost US steel and save 1 lakh jobs. He said Nippon will invest $2.2 billion on Mon Valley and $7 billion nationwide to modernize steel operations. Russia has dismissed recent Pakistani media reports as fake, which claim that Moscow is expanding economic ties with Islamabad, including plans to jointly set up steel mill in Karachi. The report stemmed from a May 13 meeting between Harun Akhtar Khan, a special assistant to Pakistani Prime Minister, and a Russian envoy Denis Nazirov. Moscow firmly denied any signed multi-billion-dollar deal, accusing elements in Pakistan of trying to disrupt the strong India Russia strategic partnership, especially after India's recent Operation Sindoor targeting terror camps in Pakistan and POK. A senior Russian official called the reports exaggerated and said they aim to sensationalize ties that do not exist at such a scale. The United Nations is set to lay off approximately 6,900 employees and slash its $3.7 billion operating budget by 20% in one of the most significant restructuring efforts in its history. The cuts follow mounting physical strain mainly due to delayed and reduced contributions from the United States and China, which fund over 40% of UN's budget. United Nations Controller Chandramouli Ramanathan said the cuts are part of UN 80, a broad overall to prepare the organization for modern global challenges. Earlier this month, Secretary General Antonio Guterres acknowledged the financial crisis and outlined plans for departmental mergers, staff relocation, and streamlining operations to cut the costs. The center has reduced the basic customs duty on crude palm oil, crude soybean oil, and crude sunflower oil to 10%. The move is aimed to bring down the retail prices of cooking oil and protecting domestic processors. A notification in this regard was issued by the Finance Ministry yesterday with immediate effect. Earlier, the duties on these three crude edible oils was 20%. India imports more than 50% of its domestic edible oil requirements. India imported 159.6 lakh tons of edible oil during the year 2023-24 oil marketing year, that is from November to October, valuing 1.32 lakh crore rupees. The basic custom duties on refined oil remains unchanged at 32.5%. India imports palm oil from Malaysia and Indonesia. Soybean oil comes from Brazil and Argentina. Center has asked Indigo to end its traffic lease agreement with the Turkish Airlines within 3 months. The action comes just weeks after the government revoked the security clearance of Turkey linked firm Celebi Aviation, which handled services at 9 key airports in India, including Delhi. Indigo, which has leased the operators to two Boeing 777s from Turkish Airlines, had a permit to do so until 31st May and had sought an extension from the Ministry of Civil Aviation for 6 months. The ministry has refused to allow this. A statement from the ministry, however, said that to avoid passengers' inconvenience due to immediate flight disruption, Indigo has been granted a 3 month extension till August 31st. The ministry made it clear that it will not be extended further. India and Brazil strengthened bilateral ties at the Shangri-La Dialogue 2025, reaffirming commitment to a free, open, inclusive Indo-Pacific. Chief of Defense Staff General Anil Chauhan and Admiral Aguirre Ferreri, Chief of Staff of Brazil Armed Forces, discussed shared values and interests, underscoring the importance of rule based international order and growing convergence of views between both countries on regional and global issues. During the discussion, both nations also emphasized cooperation on regional security, maritime freedom, and sustainable development.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.